Still holding on to gains amid uncertainty. Questions about what's next. CNBC's Frank Holland discusses the ongoing market situation with Elisabeth Bumiller and Jared Bernstein as they explore the implications for everyday Americans, particularly those nearing retirement. Elisabeth Bumiller opens by discussing concerns raised by the Trump administration's remarks, specifically from figures like Scott Bessent, who dismissed worries about daily market fluctuations, suggesting that retirees shouldn't focus too heavily on the state of their savings. Bumiller questions the awareness of high-profile billionaires in the administration regarding how these market shifts impact regular citizens, especially those relying on investments for income during retirement. She also highlights comments from Howard Lutnick, who downplayed concerns over Social Security checks, adding to her frustration about the lack of empathy for ordinary Americans facing financial uncertainty. Bumiller's central question for Jared Bernstein revolves around the Federal Reserve's potential actions at its May 7 meeting. She notes that Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve Chair, had previously indicated that the Fed would wait for more data on inflation before making any changes. She wonders whether enough information will be available for the Fed to make a significant move at that time. Jared Bernstein responds, acknowledging the public frustration with wealthy elites downplaying the financial struggles of middle-class Americans. He expresses his deep concerns over the dismissive attitudes toward the difficulties faced by those nearing retirement. Regarding the Fed's decision, Bernstein explains that while an interest rate cut might seem like a reasonable response to current market turmoil, new challenges, such as rising tariffs, complicate the situation. Tariffs can slow economic growth and increase prices, creating a scenario of stagflation, which makes it difficult for the Fed to justify rate cuts without exacerbating inflation concerns. Therefore, he speculates that the Fed may hold off on cutting rates, despite the challenging environment. Bumiller brings up the media's portrayal of the situation, quoting posts from figures supportive of Donald Trump, which attempt to downplay the significance of losses in 401ks and suggest that Americans should view financial setbacks as part of a larger sacrifice for the country, akin to wartime efforts. Bernstein counters this notion, saying that while sacrifices for a larger cause are sometimes necessary, this particular moment, marked by Trump's erratic economic policies and international trade disruptions, doesn't align with the type of sacrifice that leads to meaningful gains. He describes the situation as one of an authoritarian leader seeking personal recognition rather than working toward the country's well-being, noting the growing dissatisfaction among even some of Trump's billionaire supporters. Bernstein points out that many of Trump's once strong supporters, including those in the MAGA camp, are beginning to question the direction of his presidency. Frank Holland concludes by highlighting that there seems to be more concern about the current economic trajectory than support for it, with even traditional conservative voices like the Wall Street Journal and some Republican senators expressing doubts. He notes that while some still back the president's policies, much of the support is tied to personal benefit or direct influence from Trump, rather than genuine endorsement of his approach.